रूप कदा मायं ददाति शपदन्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुर श्रीयुतपदो कमलं श्रीगुरुण वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं शक्तजातं सहगण रघुनाथनितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सवधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सौगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितां च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So today, the first of all, I just to pay my humble obeisances to my spiritual master, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, and his founder Acharya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada, and all the devotees those who are attending to our the weekly Ramayana class. So today is the session, the fifth session. So before we are already completed the fourth session. So today, actually, this the teachings of Ramayana, we are continuously to reading from book and try to finding out some teachings what is really to help our at the attention to the hearing and chanting and to understanding the life and understanding the difficulties in our spiritual life, how to deal. So these teachings actually the mainly purpose to our this Ramayana class. So I know that all the devotees are in their busy schedule try to sit and listen this class. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we're reading from the book, The Story of Lord Rama, the translating by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. So, so today our starting from the reading, after completing the epic poem, he wondered whom he could uh, teach to so that it would remain preserved in memory and the propagate all over the world. So last time we know that last class we heard that the Lord Brahma appeared in this world and just that is Balmiki Muni was little bit regretting for his mistake, and the Lord Brahma said, "No, don't worry. This is not your mistake. This is I am creating this situation that you be perfect to write the Ramayana." And then he gave some tips that how to write and which way just to write the Ramayana. And after that, Lord Brahma disappeared, and then Balmiki was sat down to meditate, and he got the information that how to write and this and that, and totally absorbed to writing to write the Ramayana. So our class is starting from here now. That after completing the epic poem, he wondered whom he could teach it to, it to, so that it would remain preserved in memory and propagate all over the world. So this is one of the teachings for us. Whenever we write something, whenever we just to prepare something, same time we have to also think that how we can just to propagate, how we can distribute it, and who can memorize these things. Just like our sixth question is just to preparing the Krishna consciousness very nicely for the human being. And when they were in Vrindavan, they are thinking that how to distribute it, this philosophy to all over the world. That's why our Prabhupada, he just to stayed in Radha Damodar temple. Why? Because Prabhupada most of the time says that all the six Goswamis are get together in Seva Kunj and they discussed that how to distribute it, this Krishna consciousness philosophy all over the world. Because they don't go to outside the Vrindavan. That's why they need a one person that who can distribute it. So that's why Prabhupada stayed in Radha Damodar temple and day and night absorbed in hearing and chanting and writing. And finally, he got the instruction from the Rupa Goswami, and he distributed the Krishna consciousness all over the world. So it is one of the teachings for us. We are not to only preparing, same time we also to think about how to distribute, how to propagate this philosophy, this Krishna consciousness movement. Because preaching is the essence. We only prepare ourselves, that's not enough. We also think about how to distribute it all over the world. So, while Valmiki was thus contemplating, his disciples, Love and Kush, who were dressed as the rishi, came before him and touched his feet, as was their daily custom. That when Valmiki was just thinking about this, his two disciples, Love and Kush, the Sita's two sons, they came and touched the feet of the Guru and pay obeisances. So it is one of the teachings. The disciple always just to meet with the Guru every time, pay obeisances and take the blessings. And even the three times, three shanda, especially to pay obeisances to Guru. that morning, noon, and evening. That's when Love and Kush came to adjust to came to meet with the came to meet the Valmiki, and they just to pay obeisances. So we understand. Sometimes we go to the Gurudev and standing like this way. No, when you go to the Gurudev, you meet with the very supreme person. Senior personality that we should go to them and just give our obeisances, because we are going to the senior devotees or senior personalities, our main person, to go to the in front of them, the main purpose to take some blessings. Because why you go to the senior devotees or the senior devotee? The main purpose to go to their life to get some instructions, to get some blessings. But to helping us, what is really to helping us to more move on our spiritual life or the path of success? Because without the blessings of the saintly personalities, we cannot to approach in Krishna consciousness or never can get the success. We should understand that. So another thing is that when you really to think about that, how can I just to distribute the Krishna consciousness, to whom will distribute it? When you again and again meditate, again and again think about, Krishna will organize some situation that which place to whom, which person we are just to preach. We need to eagerness. Prabhupada always to say, for the preaching, the first we need the quality to eagerness, to distributing, to giving. This mentality you have to create. Otherwise, you never to think about the crystal creating some position or situation that you can distribute the Krishna consciousness. Just like Prabhupada, day and night, his mood, his enthusiasm, his eagerness, how can he preach? That's why Krishna is creating the situation. So Krishna always to give some opportunity to us according to our the deep intense greediness, the deep intense the our eagerness. That as much as we are just to be eager to giving something, to distributing something, then Krishna will organize that situation. Otherwise, any good situation, any opportunity never come into in our life just to whimsically. Every the situation and the opportunity is coming to according to our eagerness. And if we are just too eager, very desperately, then you'll see some situation, some opportunity definitely to come to our life. So that is you have to understand. Then Sita had given birth to the twin brothers while in exile, and they had remained under Valmiki's care ever since. So when Mother Sita was in exile, during that time she begot the two children, Love and Kush, and they remained under Valmiki's care because they brought up, born and brought up in front, in the Valmiki's ashram. Sita's forced exile had come about when a citizen of Ayodhya doubted her chastity after being touched by the ten-headed monster. Sita forced exile. Now come to our mind. How Sita went to the exile. Actually, Sita went to the exile because when Sita was in forest, under the um, uh, just like in Ravana, in Ashok Batika, that time the citizen of the Ayodhya, they doubt the Sita's chastity. That's why Sita went to the exile to see the mentality of Ayodhya people and to prove that she is in chaste wife. Ravana, monster Ravana. Thus, Lord Ramchandra was forced to banish her to see the mentality and to gossiping Ayodhya here and there. That's why Ram forced to send the Sita to banish her, to banish her. Their two sons, Love and Kush, were gifted with fine memories and musical abilities. Moreover, they were well versed in the Vedas. We can see another why Love and Kush become so, the well versed personalities because they born and brought up under the guidance in the Valmiki. So it is a teachings for us to which family or which personality's life I came or I born and brought up. That's not a um, main theme, but to whom under the care of person I brought up, that is important. Which place I born, that not a main thing, but to whom under I am born and brought up, that's a very important thing. Sometimes we can born in a very higher caste, but our knowledge is very pure. The poor in spirituality. But sometimes we born in a very difficult place, but we under the care of a person is very highly elevated. So during that time, our consciousness become very nice. Just like Love and Kush, born in the forest, but they always under the guidance of Valmiki. That's why their Vedic concept, the Vedic philosophy, they learn very nicely. Even we can see Prahlad Maharaj, born and brought up under the guidance of uh, Narad Muni. That's why he was very good, nice, devoted. That's why modern days we not to think about it that association and taking care under the guidance of people, that's a very important. That which association you are in brought up according to their your vision, your all the mentalities, everything will be creating like that way. So moreover, they were well versed in Vedas. Physically, the twins were exact replicas of their father. So they become like a capable like their father because Valmiki prepared them as a Rama. And musically, they were as talented as heavenly Gandharvas. Thus, as Valmiki gazed fondly upon the twins, and he realized that they were fully qualified to Ramayana, receive the Ramayana. So we are sometime to think about this is also one of the teachings for us to preach the Krishna consciousness. Sometimes everybody is not qualified. At least for the preaching of the Krishna consciousness, sometimes we need to some spiritual, the understanding, the spiritual consciousness, the spiritual activities, we have to know that. Like an uneducated spiritual person cannot to preach very nice. For the preaching, at least you know about the scriptures. You know some manner. You know uh, some technique that how to preach. Then you become success. That's why Balmiki Muni was thinking that who is qualified to learn the Ramayana and distributing to everybody. And they are just to Ramayana is poetic way can distribute. That's why he saw that Lob and Kush is the qualified person. Just like we also see Prabhupada is to given his all the propagating of this Krishna consciousness philosophy to his personalities. They are very highly qualified and they know how to preach so that one person is to think about before just uh, to giving the charts that who can actually really the qualified person to distribute. Otherwise, just to give someone, then they can just to creating some absurd situation. So it is very important when you become the organizer person must be think about who is the appropriate person to that place, that situation to capable to preach. Otherwise, any person you are just to giving to anybody, then you will not get success. Sometime you will see you need to cook the gulab jamun, and a person don't know how to prepare the gulab jamun, how to make the gulab jamun, and you give it to that person, then you can't. You will make it like a burning ball, and not to be like a gulab jamun. So first you have to know this person know about gulab jamun, how to make, have a knowledge. That's a very important thing. Thereafter, Valmiki proceed to teach Love and Kush the entire Ramayana with great care. So it is another teachings. First you have to preach. First you need to practice. But we are sometimes to forget that we need to preach. We need to personally to practice. But we no need to practice. Just we are going to preaching and making some just a absurd situation. Yes, I need first achar, then prochar. So first practice, then preach. Prabhupada first practicing, then he went to preaching. And when you are practicing under a very nice and very intellectual guidance, then your practicing will be very healthy and fruitful. So Love and Kush, under the guidance of Valmiki, to learn the Ramayana so scrutinizedly, very nicely, because he is written the Ramayana. Another thing is that who is the pioneer of this person from whom we are just to learn that, then we can learn very nicely. But just like those who know about Ramayana properly, without authentic person, we learn from him, then we learn the wrong things. That's what Prabhupada always to say. We just to hear, we have to learn the scripture from the Acharya. We have to learn from the Acharyas. Then we can learn the right things. Otherwise, to we hear and learn from here and there, then we are learning the wrong things and we also distributing the wrong philosophy. Following Valmiki's instructions, they chanted the Ramchandra's wonderful pastimes before great sages, learned brahmanas, and other pious men pure in heart. The learned brahmanas, experienced great transcendental pleasure in reciting the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra. And this is also another teachings. When you'll give the class, either Ramayana, Bhagavatam, whatever, to the Brahmanas, to the spiritual personalities, we have to speak like that way. They are become very happy in a right way. Then we can get the blessings that we can more can preach. So when Prabhupada is to distributing the Krishna consciousness so nicely that people are eager to hear, and for these things they become a devotee. So our preaching will be so nicely that even the person is not interested to listening the Ramayana, but at least to hear that, then they become benefited. They become benefited. That's why when Lob and Kush just to distributing the Ramayana in front of the Brahmanas, the experienced transcendental person, and in front of them, when they are just to hear from their mouth, they are very pleased. And by these blessings, by their blessing, they are more capable to distribute. Just like when we are preaching to Krishna consciousness, in our audience, our preaching will not in a perfect way, and the right consciousness and the authentic sources, we cannot to please. We cannot to please the person. Then our preaching not to be successful. That's why first we need to the good practicing, then we can good preaching. And the good preaching will to please the, especially the transcendentalist personalities, Brahmanas, then by their blessing, you can more preach, more preach. Just like we can see why Prabhupada in a 75, 70 years old, he preached very nicely. Why? Because he's preaching in a, as a authority says, that way. That's why all the acharyas, previous acharyas, they are very happy to Prabhupada. That's why he's a success man to preach the Krishna consciousness. That's why we not to think about my viewers happy, these, that happy. But we always to think about what I'm preaching. My acharyas, Prabhupada, my Gurudev, they are happy. If they are happy, then Krishna is happy. Then your preaching will be successful. That's why Lob and Kush, which way just to reciting the Ramayana, that all the Brahmanas, then all the transcendental person, they're very pleased to them. Thus, the Brahmanas praised Lob and Kush and rewarding them with many valuable gifts. So, just another thing is that our preaching not to be based on money. When we'll preach how much money we can get, that's not a preaching, that's a business. Our preaching should be without any cause, without any dealings. Our preaching, how can we just to give them Krishna to others? When we will just to make our mind like this way, then automatically Krishna knows what we need. He will give it through that person. But by the demanding, by the money, we not to preach the Krishna consciousness. So Lob and Kush not to preach the Ramayana by the demanding you have to pay me this much money, then I can teach you or I can just to give you the Ramayana Katha. From that from that day, Lob and Kush began traveling all over the world and reciting the epic Ramayana. When he understand that Lob and Kush saw that all the Brahmanas, transcendental person are very happy to me, happy to us that we are very nicely to preaching. Then they get an inspiration. Now we can preach all over the world. You know? So this is another teachings for us. When we start the preaching, and we'll see that people are very happy to our preaching, we can get the enthusiasm. we can get the energy to more preach. So that's why sometimes people are very afraid. Am I can preach? I am qualified. So if you are only to think about, then you can't preach. You start. Then when you start, then you'll see Krishna creating the situation. Krishna give the energy through that person. They are praising. They are just to instructing that, oh Prabhu, you can preach. Then you can get more energy. So in Love and Kush, to give the Ramayana Katha to big personalities, and they are happy and they say, okay, Love and Kush, now you can distribute all over the world. And Love and Kush that time get the energy, get the enthusiasm. Yes, now we are qualified, can preach. So in the course of their wandering, they eventually came to Ayodhya. They was thinking that they were thinking where I just to distributing the Ramayana Katha, where I'll give the Ramayana Katha. Then they finally decided they will go to Ayodhya. There the Lord Ramchandra saw the two boys wandering through the city streets, addressed in the grab of rishis. Upon hearing the wide acclaimed of their expert recitation of his transcendental pastimes, Lord Ram took great pleasure in inviting them to his palace to recite Ramayana. Still, although they were his son, he didn't recognize to them because before just to meet with the Lob and Kush, Ramchandra didn't know that these two children, I mean, Lob and Kush, these two children is his son. So it is also another thing is that if we not to meet with the person, we don't know what is the relationship with that person with us. Same way, we need to meet with the personalities. Then we know that how he is, who he is, what is the relationship with us. Same way, if we not to hear the Krishna, if we not to learn the Krishna, then we don't know who is Krishna and what is the relationship with the Krishna with us. That's why we need to face, we need to read, we need to hear about Krishna. Then we know what is the relationship to Krishna and with us. Same way, in the material world people, if you not to meet with them, you don't know their nature, their relationship, everything, we don't know. As soon as you meet with them, speak with them, then you know about them. After respectful receiving the twin sages, the Lord invited them into his royal assembly. Lord Rama observed that the boys, although dressed as a ascetic Brahmana, had the feature of Kshatriya because he's the Ram, na? He's also Kshatriya. Na? To see the two sons, looks like their dress is like a rishi, but their action, mood is like a Kshatriya. Speaking to his brothers, Bharat and Lakshman and Shatrughna, Rama said, O best of King Raghu dynasty, please listen to his wonderful narration. Although these two singers appear like ascetics, ascetics, they have the mark of great rulers. Listen to this story because it is full of literally beauty and has the universal appeal. Bhagavan Ram also became happy to hear the Ramayana. So we also have a teachings that when we just to give the Bhagavad Katha or Ramayana Katha in such a nice way, the Lord also be pleased. Sometimes Prabhupada in front of the deities gives some lecture. The devotees ask, Prabhupada, here is nobody. You are speaking to Holy Katha. To whom here? Prabhupada said, I am giving the class not for you. So I am giving the class to pleasure of Lord. That's why you will see our morning Bhagavatam class and evening Bhagavad Gita class in temple in front of the Lord. Because Lord also wanted to hear his own glorification. And when he heard his own glorification, Lord become pleased. And if Lord become pleased, then our success is very near. So our main purpose is to preach, to please the Guru and Krishna. That is our success. Not like to increase the viewers of like Instagram or YouTube, this, that. Yes, that's for preaching. But main purpose of preaching to please the Guru and Krishna. As Lob and Kush began the narration of beautiful epic poem, Ram and his brothers soon forget everything else, become fully absorbed in hearing the Ramayana. The boon of the material existence can be completely cut by simply chanting and hearing the Lord glories. The bond of material existence can be completely cut by simply hearing and chanting the Lord glories. That's a very important line. That as soon as we listen or hear the holy katha of Krishna to hearing and chanting, then the cut our all kinds of bondage in this material world. Attachment. If we not to hear holy katha, if we not to chant the Lord Krishna's name or Lord Rama's name, we never can cut our bondage. We never can cut our attachment to this material. So those who wanted to cut the bondage and the attachment from this material world, then we need to hear more, chant more. Then we easily can cut off from this bondage. That's why you see those personalities become rishi, become muni, become transcendental person, transcendentalist person. What is their secret? They are day and night only hearing and chanting, hearing and chanting. The more hearing, the more chanting, the more you relieve from this, the clusters of Maya, the bondage of Maya, the attachment of Maya. We can free from that. The less hearing, the less chanting, we are more addicted, the more attached to this material world. So Ramayana Katha, Bhagavad Katha, to need to as because these books, this epic, these transcendental books, sending that Lord to us for more here. Otherwise, no purpose to sending this book. These books, proper and acharyas, all the divine, the scriptures is written to sending us that we can hear from these books. Then it will be great benefit for the human being. But modern days, we are so busy with the different things, what is really not too necessary for bring the peace in our life. More bring the like anxiety, problem, this, that. That's why we need to hear that. Hare Krishna. So shall we stop now today here? We'll again give the class on Saturday. Hare Krishna. So I am thinking that it will be nice, and also devotee says that we will start this class half an hour before, just Indian 5:30 p.m. But I today starting the class little bit late because Australia is some going on the Kirtan Mela. Still, I think so. Devotees are busy. No problem. We will give the class according to the time. So when they have a time, they are listening. Because our Katha only, not the devotees also, the pleasing to the Krishna. Because if we are just adjusting to everybody, we can't continue, because everybody have some problems, this, that. But we continue. Let's see whoever come, whoever not come. Okay. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.